The two words, L'cha Hashem Agdula V'Gvura, that the emotions are stand in a state of nullification. And then it says, Kechil B'Shamayim V'Oretz. This is how he concludes the pasuk, the verse. Meramazim Gam Shnei Asugim Shebemidas are also symbolized the two groups of midas. Midas Tiviyas and Midas Sichlis. The two groups of emotions, the impersonal character traits, the natural ones and the intellectual ones. V'Inyanu Dezeshen is Boyd Le'il. That this, what is explained before, Shamidas K'meishein Sharsha B'Sharshan Hein B'Bitl L'cha, that the level of the midas that we mentioned earlier, that they stand in a state of nullification, which means they're standing in a state of elevation to connect to the source. Hakavoni b'ikar lozeh shesheresh hamidas u'b'keser. This is on the level that they still sense their root in their being. Therefore, what do they sense? They sense the state of nullification as they stand in Keser, in the crown, which is standing in a higher level of godliness. The person, as mentioned earlier, this is how the roots of the midas, the emotions, stand in the essence of the soul. The kivim shakeser who moved on the kol asviras. Because Keser is removed, the crown, the attribute, the crown, is removed from all attributes, therefore, the midah, the spheres, the attributes, which are the midas, and also meichin, because it says, L'cha Hashem, all, they're all committed. They don't have any entity, because they're standing completely on the level of Keser, which is higher than the chain of creation. But but when we speak about the midas as the midas come out from the seichel, which means the seichel, the emotions come out from the intellect, so therefore this means that the intellect controls them. Since the seichel is the cause of the emotions, so therefore it is actually controlling them. Therefore, also when the emotions are in the seichel, they are considered a metzias, an entity. Why are they considered an entity? The intellect is controlling them because the intellect is giving place for them. The intellect is giving them a nesinas makom, a dimension that they should begin to happen. Since this level of intellect is giving them a dimension that they should begin to happen, allowing them, so therefore they have an entity already. Although they're still in the intellect, these emotions. MaMaar, Shamidas hativiyah is the natural midas, which is shanirgash bohem, that they sense their root in a pure way. Shesharsham hu be'etzem hanefesh, shayochem le'lecha. They are shaykh to the word L'cha Hashem Agdula, because what they sense and what they're connected to and what they're inclined to is to higher, because their union is on a higher level of bittul, because they come from there. B'meila they sense their roots here in their being. Umidas hasichli, when it comes to intellect and the emotions that come from the intellect and are controlled by the intellect, these emotions are basically the direction of these emotions is to be revealed. Therefore, they relate to the word kechil b'shamayim avaris, which means to descend, to draw down, to reveal in an obvious way. Not that it should remain to higher, but fakir, to come down to lower.
What does it mean by natural emotions?
Natural emotion means that, in other words, the natural.
Do we sense it?
It's the midas. Let's see if this is by the person. It says midas. The tikkun is basically according to seichel. According to seichel, although the source of the midas comes from tikkun. I mean from teo. The source comes from higher. Zeh hakesher. This is also the kesher, the connection v'ashayches, the vayimtza me'asharim, the vayizra Yitzchok. That Yitzchok found 100 times as much. The vayizra Yitzchok, to him planting. What is the connection? Zriyas hakeches the nefesh alikis b'nefesh abamis. What is Yitzchok doing? he is implanting the keiches of the nefesh elikis into the nefesh habamis, into the animal soul, taken from the godly soul and implanting these traits into the animal soul. What does it mean? Ke'amid is the nefesh elikis she'shorsha b'tikun. The mid is the emotions of the godly soul, that her source is in tikkun, the world, the stable world, the settled world. So they're based there with limitation because they're controlled by the intellect. The mid is the mid is the emotions of the animal soul that come from teo, from the chaos world, the chaotic world. They are a takef without limitation. By implanting the emotions of the nefesh elikis into the emotions of the animal soul, from the godly soul into the animal soul, we have a total of 100. Twice 50. We have the midas, the tikkun, the emotions as they're controlled by the seichel. Or midas the teo, we also have the emotions, the natural emotions, as they are from teo, from the chaos world.
Can you get twice 50?
Each one is 5 midas, emotions.
There's more than 5.
Okay, so basically, L'cho Hashem Agdula V'Gvura, we're talking about the essence, the core of the midas. L'cho Hashem Agdula V'Gvura V'Tiferes V'Netzach V'Heit. Because you say this already connecting to with Malchus, connecting the higher and lower. So it's a no new function. So 5 times 10 is 50. Then you have the 50 on the level of Teo, the animal soul, and you have the 50 on the level of the godly soul. So together, 50 and 50 still adds up to 100. What it says, Vayimtza, he found the Mitzia, he shalei lefi erech haveder. When we say somebody found something, so it's not that he earned, he exerted himself, but he really got something. Mitzia is something that comes with the absence of the mind. Gemara says in Sanhedrin, there are 3 things that come with the absence of the mind. A Mitzia, Mashiach, and a Nachash. Nachash, a snake.
What about a person's passing?
Not always.
Well, people know they're going.
Says the shadow comes about 30
People know they're going. They're sick.
Right.
It's always a shock.
A shock it is, but the Mitzia says that it's not a klal by everyone, that it comes suddenly. But it says the 3 things. Mashiach ben David, Mitzia, and Nachash.
What's the connection?
Nachash?
Real connection.
Nachash, a snake could sometimes pop out from anywhere.
So can a mouse.
Yeah, we go. Let's talk about the Sanhedrin. Sanhedrin.
Yaakov actually davened that it shouldn't go like this.
It says Nachash korach ala kevei leyafsik. Nachash is b'gematria Mashiach.
See, that's why I knew that was connection.
How does that work?
There's the Lumazer, there's Kedusha, and then there's the Lumazer, the opposite.
Also,
But what the Rebbe brings out is Kirch. So da, ganze das, Mitzia, the whole thing, but there's in the, with this, that design, the 3 inyanim, Mitzia, 3 inyanim, Midah, Perik Chelik it is, that the 3 inyanim that come, so the Rebbe explains, Benegia Mitzia, the Rebbe explains, that Mitzia is something that Yogato Matzosa Tamin. So it says, was mit Yogato Matzosa Tamin, that Matzosa. Matzosa means that how much a person exerted himself, the Mitzia that he finds later, that he gets, is completely out of range of what he really exerted himself. Which means that that if he has any exertion, he will get manyfold in comparison to what he exerted himself. The designer gets this is one. Mashiach is the same thing, the union of Hesach Hadas. Actually, this is probably why the Gemara brings it here, because this is Perik Chelik. And then comes the 3rd one, is the union of Nachash. Nachash was the 3rd one. Al-Kopanim, which shows that all these inyanim are higher than the inyanim of Havana Vasaga, higher than estimating, calculating, logical calculation. And the Mela, so these 3 are pushed together as one. Kopanim Sedai, it's been Perik Chelik, or the Ramad Aleph, or the Ramad Beis. I think here he says, Shmaya, 3 things. One thing is